Okay, we're back. We are going to continue our journey with Fanthyr the Gladiator and Telen the Templar. So far, it's been a really interesting journey. We had super bad luck in the beginning of the game. We could not, for the life of us, find a Caravansary. For the last hour, we've been wandering the desert, trying to survive. It's been arduous, and it's been a lot of fun for me. Because we were pushed right to the brink of death a couple of times. Thankfully, we've gotten a couple of treasures along the way. We have dodged the Ravager as he has taken out several areas of the board. What else? We've encountered a couple of discoveries. We've done an excavation. So there's a lot more to do. We just finished a caravan journey to the city of Phorora, but we have to do a few things before we're done with that. So we played 2 Remnant cards, and those Remnants gave us 3 Ravager crystals apiece, provided that we reduce the damage completely, which we did. So I'm going to put down 6 Ravager crystals on our battle mat here. We are currently up to 7 Ravager crystals, and I need to consume food from our caravan journey, because at the end of a caravan journey, you will consume some food based on the food on the tops of each of these caravan event cards. So each hero is going to reduce their food by 6, so I'll do that now. All right, and it's a good thing we were able to fill up on food before we went on this journey. We spent some of our gold on food to get all loaded up on food, so we don't starve. One other thing to note is that the Alkin Mercantile Company, if you'll notice underneath the health and energy bars, we see, obviously you see the 3 icons for the stat tests that this Caravan Master gives a bonus to, but we also see a Scarabs symbol. So now basically what this means is we can actually play Scarabs, which is our gambling mechanic, when we are on a journey with the Alkin Mercantile Company. Actually, even if we are not on a journey with them, if we're simply in a Caravansary, we can actually play the Scarabs, and that's at any time between the time you leave and but the time you arrive. So one thing what we're going to do is, first of all, we're going to gain our reward for keeping all damage that the caravan would have suffered off of the Caravan Master. So we are going to get all 3 of those rewards. Now the platinum is a group reward, so we'll just increase our platinum by 1. We now have 3 platinum. But the gold is a per hero reward. So if you'll notice, we have, if he's alive, we get 4 gold each. If he's at full health, we get 8 gold each. So he's both alive and at full health. So we get 12 gold each. So I'm going to increase our gold here. So we have Telen with 18 gold, and we have Fanthyr with 19 gold. Now, early in the game, we encountered the Soaring City discovery. We saw a floating city high up in the sky, and it basically gave us some good luck. There's some rumors and some very old legend about this soaring city in the sky, and we saw it. So we actually have 4 rerolls left on our Soaring City card. That card allows us to reroll a single die up to 6 times in the game. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to play a game of Scarabs, because our luck is such that we might actually gain a good amount of gold. So I will walk you through that. We are going to play a game of Scarabs, and that is going to be our gambling mechanic. Okay, so let's dive in. Before we begin, we're simply going to, at the first round of gambling, we are going to decide which of our heroes is going to enter the Oasis. Okay, now the Oasis is the leftmost part of that card, and it represents a large payout over time. Now, the game of Scarabs only lasts up to 6 rounds, and each round we are going to be rolling the 3 4-sided dice. That is 2 orange dice and 1 brown. And basically we are going to figure out where the house is. Okay, so the house is the location you're playing Scarabs in. In this case, we are in Phorora. We've just arrived with the Caravan Master. Just before we let them go, we're going to play some Scarabs with them. So the house is City 1. That means whenever we roll a 1 on these any of these dice, something unique happens. Okay, if we were in Tari, which I believe is the 3rd city, the house would be 3. And so something unique would happen if we rolled a 3. Okay, so what happens if we roll a 1 on the brown die? If we roll a 1 on the brown die, any winnings for that round are doubled. Okay, so rolling house on the brown die is a really good thing. Rolling house on the orange dice are a bad thing. That means a sandstorm has hit, and that will put 1 notch on our sandstorm bar here. And if the sandstorm ever gets up to 3, then Scarabs ends. Okay, so the Oasis, getting back to that investment option, it represents an investment in how long this game of Scarabs is going to take place. It costs 10 gold to enter, and each player can do that if they want to. And if the game makes it to the 4th round, then the payout is 25 gold. So you've gained 15 gold on the investment. If it makes it to the 5th round, the payout is 50 gold. And if it makes it to the 6th round, you get 50 gold and platinum. Okay, so that is the Oasis on the leftmost side. The Dunes, this is representing a 1-to-1 payout on a result of the 3 dice added up. So when we roll the 3 dice, we are going to see what the sum of those dice are, and either of our heroes can devote money to a particular bet. So I could say the Gladiator is going to put 2 gold on results of 6, 7, and 8. Talen is going to put 2 gold on 8, 9, and 10. And if any of those actually do come out to be the result, you get an immediate payout. Now, that bet stays on the board, so you only put that bet down once, and then throughout you can take it off, you can add to it, you can modify it, that kind of thing. Okay, the Peaks is a 10-to-1 payout, and it only occurs when the results of the dice are all the same. So if we roll all 1s, or if we roll all 4s, for instance. Okay, now a Peaks payout is 10-to-1, so if I put 10 gold on this, and we somehow get all 3 dice to roll the same, we'll get 100 gold out of that payout. Now, the thing about the Peaks is that placing a bet in the Peaks does not last beyond 1 round. Unlike the Dunes, where if you would put 2 gold into the Dunes, it does not persist. So you place the bet on the Peaks, you lose that bet the next round of the game. Last but not least, we have an area on Scarabs where you can actually bet on the arena. So you're able to bet on gladiators participating in arena. We're actually not doing an arena event at the moment. But if any heroes were, our heroes who were betting in Scarabs could actually bet on their performance and actually gain a bunch of money that way. Okay, so what I'm going to do first is, one last thing. When you play Scarabs, you'll note in the upper left-hand corner if you roll a 4 or an 11. So if the result of all of the dice equal a 4 or an 11, each hero automatically gains 2 gold. So that is the last thing about Scarabs, and let's get started. Okay, so Fantheer, I think what we're going to do is... and in fact, I'm just going to use the battle mat. I don't have the Scarabs card laminated. This will come laminated where you can actually draw on this, put your bets for each hero. So I'm going to say Fanthyr and the Templar, we're both going to go into the Oasis. So we're going to subtract 10 gold just right off the bat to go into the Oasis. So I'm going to just write Oasis here, and I'm just going to put 2. That's just denoting that we have 2 heroes in the Oasis. Okay. What else? I'm going to have Fanthyr put 3 gold each on a result of 7, 8, and 9. So I'm going to reduce my gold to 0. I'm going to say 7, 8, and 9 on my card here, and I'm just going to write down 3. That means if we get that result, then I will gain 3 gold. Templar. Let's see. The Templar is going to... He's got 8 gold, so I think the Templar is going to put 4 gold in the peaks. So I'm just going to put the peaks here, and we will lose that gold if we don't get a peaks roll this turn. So let's see what happens. We're going to roll all 3 dice. This is the first round. Remember, our house is 1, and we get 2 3s and a 2. Okay, so if you'll remember, Fanthyr's results, we put on a 7, 8, and a 9. We put 3 in there. So we may not get anything out of that. However, we are 1 die away from getting that peaks payout. So I think it's time we used one of our Soaring City rolls to try and make that a 3. If we do, that 4 gold investment is going to become 40 gold payout to the Templar. So we are going to use one of our Soaring City rolls here, and we are going to see if we can get a 3. It's another 2. All right, let's try it again. So we're going to go down to 2 left. We really want this to become a 3. It's a 1. Let's try it one more time. One more time. Come on, 3. It's another 1. Okay, so we have 1 left to go. I think we're going to use it. That's going to consume the Soaring City. We really don't want that orange to be a 1, result of 1, because what that's going to do is it will cause a sandstorm to strike, and we will get 1 of our 3 attempts. So we're going to use our last one, see if we can come up with a 3. It's another 1. Okay, so we weren't lucky enough to make that 40 gold payout, but there are other game effects that can help that in the future, like weighted dice. We don't have any of those at the moment, so tell you what, we lose that 4 gold, and we get a strike on the Sandstorm. So the Sandstorm, I'm just going to write here on the battle mat, Sandstorm of 1. And that means that if we have 2 more strikes, we get the city 1 on the orange dice. The game of Scarabs will end. All right, so it's too bad we couldn't pull out that 3, but that's okay. All right, next. So we have to resolve the results. So we have a 3, and a 1. That's a result of a 7 at least. So the gladiator did bet on the roll of a 7, so he's going to get 3 gold right away. I think the gladiator is going to keep his 3 gold in. We'll put 1 gold into the peaks for the gladiator, and I think the Templar is going to put 2 gold in. We'll just put 1 gold in 7, 8, and 9. So that means we go down to Templar goes down to 1 gold. The gladiator still has 3 gold in 7, 8, and 9. And let's see what happens. Now this is the second round. Okay, check that out, guys. So we've just gotten 2 4s on the orange dice. That bodes well for us. We don't have another sandstorm pickup this round. We get a 1 on the brown dice. That means any winnings this round is doubled. So our result, if we look at the sum total, is 4, 4, and 1 is 9. So each of us actually has gold invested in this. My gladiator has 3 gold. That payout becomes 6. So he goes up 6 gold. And then the Templar has 1, so that is going to bring him up to 2 gold. We will leave our bets in. I do lose that Peaks payout for the Gladiator. So I think the Gladiator is going to do he's going to do 2 gold in the Peaks this time. Just because I think that is going to, if we do manage somehow to get all 3 the same, that's going to be a lot of gold. All right, so that was round 2. We're moving into round 3. So round 3, we have 3 gold, 7, 8, and 9. We have 2 gold in the Peaks. We have 7, 8, and 9. We have 1 gold each for the Templar. And no strikes. Awesome. So we have 4, 7, 8, 9. So we have another result of a 9. So that means we get another 3 gold. The Peaks investment goes away for the Gladiator. We get 1 gold for the Templar. And we are now in round 4. Now at this point, it is the 4th round. I can choose to pull out our Oasis and gain that 25 gold right away, or I can wait and we can see if we can get it to round 5, which would be the 50 gold payout. So let's try and wait. This could be terrible if we roll 2 1s. If we roll 2 1s, we've lost the investment, the game ends, we lose everything that is in the dunes, and we don't get any of that back. So this is going to be round 4, and oh my gosh, 3 3s, and I didn't put anything into the Peaks. This would have been the payout. If we would have put any gold into the Peaks, we would have gotten 10 times that amount. So we would have, if I would have put in 2 gold, we would have gotten 20 gold back. So shame on me for not doing that. I did that every single round except for this one so far. Okay, so again, 3 3s. The result is a 9. We do have Gladiator and the Templar. Both they've got 3 gold for the Gladiator, and that brings us up to 12, and we have 1 gold for the Templar, brings them up to 5. Okay, so this is the 5th round. I think at this point we are pulling our gold out of the Oasis, because if we roll 2 1s on the sand dice this next round, we will lose that investment. So all of a sudden we get 50 gold payout. That is amazing, you guys. Now we have a good amount of gold to spend. We came out of this already almost 110 gold richer. I think the next thing I'm gonna do is let's just put 10 gold into the Peaks. Let's just see what happens. I don't know that that's actually going to hit again twice in a row, but hey, you know, that would be nice if it did. All right, so last this is round 6. This is going to be the last one, and we get 2 sandstorms. So that ends the game. We lose everything antied. I didn't take out the 3 gold from 7, 8, and 9. I didn't take out the 1 gold from 7, 8, and 9 on the Templar. So all in all, the Gladiator loses 9. We lose that 10 gold investment into the Peaks. And then we've lost the 3 gold from the Templar. All in all, we came out ahead, folks. We've got 52 gold for the Gladiator now. And we have 55 gold for the Templar. So that's amazing. We're able to use that gold to extreme advantage once we get into Phorora. Alright, so let's put the Scarabs card away. I hope you guys enjoyed looking at that mechanic. I will get this taken care of off of our battle mat, and we will move on. Okay, so the next thing that happens is we've moved to the city-state of Phorora. The Alkin Mercantile Company is alive, so we're going to put them at their home, and their home is in Drea. So I'm going to set them here. If we go to the city-state of Drea, we can take the Alkin Mercantile Company anywhere in the future. So that's a good thing. Okay, now I did things a little bit out of order at the end of that last video. Typically, you take a caravan event in the event phase. You join a caravan in the event phase. I had actually advanced to the villain phase and then played the caravan. So really the villain phase would happen now. We've placed down the Ravager at the end of the last video, so that's that. We get to start in the movement phase. We're going to just stay in the city-state at the moment. So let's take a look at the city-state of Phorora. So Phorora is the free city of knowledge, ruled by the Agra, an elected council. Librarian Ree is the lead scholar here. So we skip the skill phase in each of the city-states. That just basically means we're not rolling for gold. It's just too busy of a place. You're not rolling for survival. You can kind of find enough to kind of scrap. All right, but each city-state gives a little bit of something here. So, for instance, in the Free City of Knowledge, we have a schooling and sparring at the top of the card here, and this denotes the types of gear upgrades that we can purchase. Not only that, but if our reputation matches the city-state, that purchase is going to be reduced by 1. So we can actually purchase those gear upgrades at a -1 discount. So I'm going to do that now. I think what I'm certainly going to do is let's increase. I'm going to increase pretty much all of the masteries. I'm going to spend some gold. I'm just going to fast forward a little bit, and then I'll go over the results when I'm done. Okay, we're back. So let's go over what I purchased. So Fanthyr the Gladiator, we went through and we purchased 2 King's Elixirs. This is an item found in the bazaar. This is going to be very helpful in combats where basically whenever you suffer damage, you're getting a heal. The other thing that I did was each of our heroes did the schooling and sparring action for this round. So whenever you're in a city-state, you are going to have the ability to do one of a few different options. You can either enter the games, you can do a game of Scarabs, you can do schooling and sparring, and each of those consumes your action for the turn. So our Gladiator and our Templar decided to do the schooling and sparring, and in Phorora you're able to get gear upgrades that are both masteries and all skills. So let's take a look at that. So for the Gladiator, we did schooling and sparring, and we actually increased his masteries quite a bit by 3 each. Now also, because our reputation matches Phorora, we're getting a 1 gold discount on each of those. So and then we also increased each of our skill gear upgrades by 1. So we did quite a bit of that. We purchased a survival kit for the Gladiator. That's going to heal us at the beginning of each game turn by 1 health and 1 energy. Okay, so that is what the Gladiator had spent his money on. And then we have the Templar. So the Templar also purchased 2 King's Elixirs. And we also did 3 gear upgrades for the masteries, both masteries. And then we also increased skills by 1. I have to redo our little hotkey here for each of our heroes. I'll do that in a second. One other thing is I purchased the survival kit for the Templar as well, and I've notched a little area on our roll cards to note that they have the mutations that they have. So for instance, the Templar has a monstrous size mutation. Whenever I gain a power-up, I will gain a +1 to that power-up value. So I put a little asterisk next to our health there, and that will help remind me when we gain a power-up for health. We also get to stay at the inn, a comfortable inn, for free because our reputation matches. Even if it didn't match, we do have the gladiator who has alluring pheromones, so we could modify our reputation if needed as well. So we have those. I wanted to go over a couple of group purchases that we purchased here. So on the battle mat, I've got a few things marked down. We've purchased a cleansed crystal. This is going to allow us to do some damage, some energy damage to the Ravager at the end of the game. We also have purchased extraction tools and the refilling water skin. Okay, so now the refilling water skin allows us to become immune to the effects of heat exhaustion, and it allows us to gain energy regen of 1. So whenever we're in combat, we get energy regen of 1. So that's good. What else? We are currently in Phorora, so there's a special in each city-state, and Phorora's is because it's the city of knowledge, we can turn in our knowledges here. So if we look at our knowledge bar at the top, it says share your experiences with the scholars of Phorora. Librarian rewards those who share their knowledge. Turn in your experiences up to once per game turn. This does not take an action. Each hero gains the power-up bonus shown. Experiences may be carried into subsequent tiers, and you may only gain each reward once. So we get to take a look at this top. It says 2 experiences of 1 type. So we haven't done 2 bosses. We have not done 2 caravan events. We did do 2 discoveries and treasures, and we did do 2 encounters. We fought the telepathic cockatrice, and we fought the legionnaires. So that means we can cross off this first experience tier, and we each get a power-up for that. So just for doing game events, we get something. So let's see. So we get a new favorite opponent, and we get a +1 attack for the Templar. All right, so let's put that down here. You've gained skill against a new type of foe. Choose a new type or subtype. You now gain favorite opponent. If you roll a hex on the sand die roll associated with this card, you may re-roll results of 1 whenever you roll favorite opponent damage. So now this is a special favorite opponent card. It has the orange die icon on it. So that means you could stash this card and wait to play it in the future. You know, I think I'm just going to do it now just to see what we can get. So if I roll a 4, something else happens. And I get a 3, so I don't get that extra something special. Okay, so I still get favorite opponent. I'm going to go with swarms. So favorite opponent, swarms. So I will write that down for here for Fanthier. All right, and then the attack is also an orange die icon, and we get a 3 for that, so that does not increase either. And that's that. All right, so that is the end of that game turn. We've spent all our, well, not all our money. The Gladiator has 6 left. The Templar has 9 left. So at the end of this turn, we are going to place down another Remnant on the board, and let's count them up. If the Remnants on the board are ever equal to at least half of the number of hot tiles on the board, we move into Act 2. So the Ravager will be moving a little bit faster in Act 2. So let's count them up. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have 11 hot tiles on the board. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 remnants on the board. So that means we have now entered Act 2. The Ravager is moving a little bit more quickly. He's a bit more ferocious, and he's going to be wrecking the land. And to note also that in Act 2, the Ravager can now, he follows you on the board. So in Act 2, wherever we are when he appears, he will appear on that map tile. So for instance, we are currently in Phorora, which is right here. If we stay too long, there is a chance that the Ravager could take Phorora, the city-state, away from us. So we like these guys. We don't want to do that. I think what we're going to do as we move into Phase 2 is we are going to start to get some of these Remnant locations cleaned up. I think that's a good thing, and it'll be a bunch of, had 7 power-ups right there, 6 power-ups on the board. So the Ravager has just laid down that token, so he will disappear at the end of next round, and then we will move a little bit more. Okay, so we have a few things that we can do here. So we have a Highland excavation, a Highland aid. We have a bounty on the board for a desert location. So there's a bunch of other things that we could do here as well. We have a HEXplore thing that we can do here too. All right, so why don't we, we're just going to continue adventuring. I think we've done what we wanted to do. Do we want to stay in the city-state to just do a gladiator event? Maybe. If we do that, let me just find the gladiator card here. The arena. You know, we could, and I am the gladiator, so it would be super easy, but the payout just, in the beginning isn't worth it. It certainly is as you continue to do it. I think I'm just going to keep the pace going. We will show the arena event maybe in another section here, but let's just continue our adventure. So what's going to happen is we are going to take a caravan back out into the wastes. So let's go ahead and put those cards here. We get to draw a caravan card here. And we get Vishti the Conqueror. Vishti's name is whispered in dark alleys all through Nemsynet. This terrifyingly large hobgoblin spends his time raiding villages, stripping them of their valuables. The hobgoblin cares little for the weak, instead respecting only the powerful. His group is large, numbering over 40 brigands. He is susceptible to bribery and always gets his way. So we could try and bribe him to go to a different location if we wanted to. Otherwise, we get to choose the location as long as it lands on a Caravansary. So if we wanted to go to the waste, for instance, we have one Caravansary on the board. We could go here, or we could force him to take us somewhere else. And if we did that, you know, maybe we want to purchase one other thing. Maybe we want to get the dust skimmer. Let's get the dust skimmer. So I didn't invest in this, but it would allow us to increase our movement speed by 1 hex per turn, which includes moving cautiously. So we'll be able to move a little bit faster. I think that is a good no-brainer. We still are at a high reputation with Phorora, so that is going to cost us 4 gold each, and I think that's a good thing to do. Next, I think I'm going to purchase 1 unit of hearty rations for 1 gold and just get up a little bit more food for the Templar. last but not least, let's get some spell components. I'm going to get 2 spell components. SPC, 2 of those, and that's going to take him down. And let's just make it spell components. Oh, they're actually only 1, so I get 2 gold back. Spell components for the gladiator, let's just go with both. So we've loaded up on items, and I think we're ready to keep moving. Oh, one last thing I didn't mention. In Phorora, one other thing that happens when you get the knowledge. For each knowledge tier completed, the group deals 5 energy damage to each opponent during the declaration phase of each round of combat. So that's awesome. The group will just do 5 total damage every round of energy. Every round, 5 energy damage to each opponent. So that's a good thing. Okay, now we're ready to take Vishti's caravan. We don't have enough gold to bribe him, so in fact what we will do is we are going to start our journey. Oh, you know what? I forgot to redo these cards. I know I told you guys I would do that. Sorry. Okay, so we are going to take Vishti's caravan. Let's look at Vishti's special before we go out. So if Vishti's caravan suffers 4 or more health damage, the group becomes imprisoned. We're going to become imprisoned if we let him suffer any damage. Additionally, each time you draw a Calm Journey caravan event, Vishti's raiders grow bored and bully the group. All heroes suffer 8 energy damage. Size matters. We reduce that 8 energy damage by our food rating. So the big guys take a little bit less. The little guys get pounded on. Let's take a look. So we've got an oasis card. You found an oasis. The lush palm trees provide much needed cover. Wildlife abounds near here. Treat this card as if the hero stopped in an oasis. Now, we haven't found an oasis on the board yet, but basically what that means is whenever you go to an oasis location on the board, you have the chance to refill all food in your backpack. So, for instance, and you can only do this 4 times in a game, so we have 4 notches along the top of the battle mat here for that. Let's go ahead and do that. I probably didn't need to fill up on food before we left town, but thankfully I didn't purchase everything. So we are now carrying as much food as we can, and I have marked the first notch on our oasis refill. We can do this up to 3 more times in the game. Now, what else do oases do? They refill your energy value. So if you've lost any energy, you would refill it. So they're really handy to find out in the wastes. And in fact, we do have 1 oasis on the board, and that is on the Phororan quadrant. All right, so the next thing that this says is discard the next caravan event. So we just get to get rid of that entirely, and that was a Calm Journey. So we would have suffered a bunch of damage had we not found that oasis. The oasis has placated Vishti's terrible conquerors, and we aren't bullied by this terrible guy. So the last caravan journey we have is the Salt Flats. This says draw another caravan event. Okay, now we have 3+, so that's going to be a 5 damage thing here. So caravan event. I'm going to, let's just read this. Immense white, solid flats stretch to the horizon. The sun seems amplified and intense, making your journey much more difficult. Heroes who fail a stat test become debilitated until the end of the caravan journey. Debilitated means we roll a d4, and whatever that result is, we cannot use the matching ability. So if we roll a 1, we can't use attack. If we roll a hex, we can't use second mastery, so on and so forth. Okay, and then it also says draw another caravan event. So we've got 5 incoming damage. We're rolling against HEXplore and survival. I'm going to have the gladiator roll first, and he makes it by 1, so he's going to be reducing it by 2 damage. So he is going to take 3. Whoops, he should be down to 2 actually. All right, and then let's go ahead and roll for the Templar. The Templar is going to attempt to help the Caravan so they don't suffer any damage here. And he gets a 2 on Explore, so he does reduce it by 2, meaning there's 1 energy drain remaining. Let's use a spell component to reduce that by 1. Awesome. So we've used, the Templar has used 1 spell component. Remember that it allows you to either cast a mastery or a racial ability without using your energy, or it allows you to reduce a Caravan event's damage. So that's how we did that. And Salt Flats are done. So we're good there. Then we draw another Caravan event, and we get another Salt Flats card. Now this one does not have the draw another Caravan event card, but it is the same 2 stats. So and I failed a stat test here, and I failed a stat test here. So we actually are debilitated. We're both debilitated in one of our abilities. But this other card does not have an ability roll associated with it. It's just skill rolls. So I'm not even going to bother. After this card is done, we're going to be done with that journey. So I won't bother rolling debilitated. But for flavor-wise, why don't we do it? So the Gladiator is he can't use his perfected technique. He's just completely taken it back. And the Templar can't use Nourish. So both of our first masteries are unusable to us during this event. And that is a good thing to note, because the Templar could have used Nourish to heal if he wanted to heal some damage. Obviously, he cannot do that. So, all right, moving on. We have 4 damage coming in from the Salt Flats, and the Gladiator takes it out completely. So at the end of this journey, we are going to end up right here, and we are going to each consume 4 food from our pack because of the Caravan journey. All right, we're in a lot better situation coming back into this Caravan than we were leaving it. It really helped that we were able to play Scarabs with the Alkin Mercantile Company. Okay, we've got Vishti the Conqueror. He has not suffered any damage. He is going to end up in Nemsynet, which is up here. But before we do, we get his bonuses. So he is alive, he's at full health, and he's at full vitals, which means each of our heroes gets a +1 to attack and a +1 stat of their choice. Gladiator, I think I'm just going to take that to... Whoops. Let's actually take that to Perfected Technique. And I think I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do the same thing on the Templar. His Nourish is going to go up. Okay. So let me just recalculate some of these values here. So we have... Okay. We're ready. Vishti is back in Nemsynet. And at the end of the turn, the Ravager disappears. Okay. Next, we are going to move 1, and we are going to attempt to use our crystals to, or our extraction tools to mine some crystals. So let's see how that goes. We are going to move. We've moved 1. We're going to roll our skills. Terrible roll. The Gladiator has rolled pretty poorly here. So we do subtract 1 food from the gladiator because he made his survival. Had he missed his survival, he would have subtracted 3. We made survival here, so we're subtracting 1 food. We did not make explore for either, and we don't need to worry too much about the navigate roll. Okay, now on a remnant location, you do not have a circumstance phase. I should back up. On a crystal tower, you do not have the circumstance phase. You skip the circumstance phase. When you have extracted the crystals from it, then you flip it over, it becomes a normal tower, and at that point then you would be able to have circumstances on remnants. So we're skipping the circumstance phase. Next is going to be the event phase, and we are going to roll a d4, and we're going to add 2 to the result because we have extraction tools. So we get 4 Ravager crystals. And so when we do this, you are going to become irradiated. Let's take a look at that here. So remnants are radioactive. Each hero gains the irradiated 5 condition during the event phase while in a remnant. They may also gain a mutation. So we are going to each become radiated 5. We are reducing that damage by our food rating. So we're going to go down to 0 here, and we are going to go down to 5 here. Both food ratings are 3. I think I am going to, the gladiator is going to try and resist getting a mutation. He only has 5 energy, so I really need to get his energy up in order to really make it worth his while to have mutations. So resisting a mutation, you're going to roll a d10, and if that value, if the result is less than or equal to, let me just double check if it's less than or equal to, it may just be less than. Twice your food rating. If the result is greater than twice your food rating, so it can be less than or equal to. Alright, so if it's less than or equal to 6, he doesn't need to take a mutation. And it's a 4, so he does not take a mutation. The Templar, however, he's got 7 energy. Do we want to take another mutation for the Templar? It's risky. Let's roll for him too. I don't want to take another mutation. Their energy values are still pretty low, so that may not be a good strategy for us to siphon their energy. And we rolled a 2, so we do not take a mutation for the Templar. All right, next up we get to draw a power-up card. So this is a evolve card, and we have a health incoming over here. If only it were reversed, that would be pretty cool. Alright, so your mutations are growing stronger. This power-up becomes a copy of 1 mutation you have. If you do not have a mutation, you gain the bonus below instead. So we don't get the +2 to blue, our second mastery, but we do have monstrous size. When we're extracting the crystals from this, our Templar, Talen, is growing in size. So he goes up to 4. Each additional monstrous size mutation you possess increases your food rating by 1 and grants the size matters increase again. So now we get another 4 increase to health. So he's at 17 health. He's probably the size of a half giant right now. All right. So that's that. We have a health increase over here. Do we want to roll for the +1 now, or do we want to stash this card and gain his bonus later? We do have the health with the bonus here. I think because it's only a +1 health, why don't we stash it for now, and we're going to try and see if we get any more of these cards in the future. So that is the end of that phase. We are going to flip over this remnant, and that is going to show that we have extracted crystals from that particular location. Now the Ravager is going to appear, and we're going to roll. Let's see, his last appearance was here, so really he can only go here for right now. So we don't even need to roll. We will roll to see which location he takes over, though. So we roll a hex, so that is going to be right here. Now, because this is Act 2, he's moving more quickly than the first act. You place a Remnant down right away on that location, and then we're going to put him down here. Look at that. This desert is just littered with Remnants. Now, what's the criteria to go into Phase 3? Phase 3 is like trouble time for the heroes. Phase 3 occurs when there are 12 or more Remnants on the board. So currently we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on the board. We have got to move our butts here to get a little bit more powerful to try and take him down. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on. Next game turn, let's move 2. We're going to move here and go to that crystal tower. So we've moved 2. That's moving cautiously. We're going to roll our dice. We have a hex on Explore. 3, 3, and 4. We've got everything over here. Taking down 1 food. We rolled everything over here. We do get that hex on Explore. I'll just take the 3 gold instead of 2. And now we do gain a energy back because of our camping gear, so that's a good thing. I'm sorry, our survival kit. We also have if we encounter anything in combat, we do have energy regen on the gladiator as well, because of his lunar blade. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to roll a d4 and gain some Ravager crystals. Add 2 to that, we get 6 more Ravager crystals. We're up to 10 now. Alright, that's a good thing. Then we are going to become irradiated. I'm going to roll to resist for the gladiator. So irradiate again is 5. So we take 2 energy drain. I'm down to 0 energy and 11 health. And I'll just show you the card there. Okay, and then the Templar, actually we'll roll to see if we can resist the mutation. I did make that roll, so I resist the mutation. Templar is going to take 1 less damage this time because his food rating increased to 4. So he's taking 5 damage minus his food rating is 4. So he's taking 1 energy drain. And then we're going to roll for him. And we get a 10, so he does not resist gaining a mutation. Telen, our Templar, is just becoming mutated like crazy. And what does he have? I really have to go through these cards. I'm sorry. I told you I would do it, and then I stopped the video, and I started shooting the next day. So, all right, so he has Frost Touch. You channel intense cold through your fingertips. When using your attack action, you may deal an additional 8 piercing energy damage. So he can actually deal another 8 piercing energy damage whenever he uses his attack. It's going to give him a bonus for power-ups on his second mastery. So whenever now he gains a bonus, a second mastery or a health increase, he's going to be increasing that bonus by 1. And then he also loses 2 energy, so he's down to only 5 energy. So that's gonna be painful, I think, later on in the game. We've got to get maybe we go to Nemsynet and buy some energy upgrades. All right, so what else happens? We draw a power-up card again, so we gain a +1, and we get another favorite opponent. And this favorite opponent is a little different. You've gained a heightened skill against each of your favorite opponents. When rolling favorite opponent damage, roll the pyramid along with the 6-sided die. Both dice explode on a result of a hex. This effects of this card may stack with itself. So his favorite opponent die is also the pyramid now. So whenever he rolls favorite opponent, he actually gets to roll 2 dice as well. So I will just put that down here next to his card. All right, and then we get the +1 to navigate and survival. 4 and 7. And then that goes there. And that's done. We have the Ravager disappears. And then we flip this Remnant over. And it's our turn again. We're going to go 1, 2, and move into this next one. So this next one is going to give us a little bit more crystals. Let's see what happens. We get a hex on yellow, so that's going to allow us to get another 3 gold over here instead of 2. Made survival just barely, so we reduced by 1. We've moved cautiously because we have the Silt Skimmer. We were able to move 1 additional hex, so that is cautious movement. Let's roll for the Templar next. 4, 3, and 4. So he makes all 3 as well. So he gets 2 gold. We reduce 1 food, and we move on to the event phase. No circumstance again because we're in a Remnant with a Crystal Tower. We are going to take some irradiation damage. So he will drop down. He actually healed 1, so he drops down to 4 and 11. Actually, he should be at 0 and 11. And then our Templar, he should have increased by 1. He'll go back down by 1 because of the radiation damage he is taking. So we've done the radiation damage. Now we've got to roll to resist a mutation for the Gladiator. He makes that resist. Gladiator's probably yelling to Len to get away from the irradiated crystals, and Len listens. So this time he does not gain a mutation. All right, the Ravager's turn now, and the Ravager is going to appear in the wastes. He is going to let's see, take out. He's either going to be taking out this one, or this one, depending on the roll. We're going to roll the D6. It's 2, so he last appeared here. He's going to appear here this turn. We're going to roll to see which Ravager node he takes out, and he takes out node 2, which is right here. Oops, I've got to put this with the Crystal Tower up. Boom. And that's where he's at now. And next we are going to, I forgot to draw power up, so we've got to do that yet. I'm going to flip this guy over. We've done that one. Draw power ups. No love. We just get some skills here. We do get second mastery here. If the second mastery card would have fallen on the Templar, he would have gained a +1 to that. So that would have been good. Sadly, the Gladiator gobbled that one up. But we'll take the Explore and Survival increases any day. All right. Movement phase. We're going to heal a little bit of damage. Then we are going to move this time. If we move 2, we can get to that location. It is a highland. Ooh. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. All right, so we're going to go 1, 2. We are moving to this mission location. The reason I'm doing that is because there's another Phororan mission on the board, and its type, the mission, is Highland. Now, you probably can't see it on the picture as in the video as easily as I can, but that location, that mission, is both a desert and a highland mission location. So I'm going to go 1, 2, moving here. And I am going to then draw first of all, I'm rolling skills. 2, 4, 7, so lose 1 food. Don't need to worry about navigate. Failed navigate. Made food, reduced by 1. No gold. Okay, skill phase is done. We do have a circumstance this phase, so let's see what that is. 2, the Well of Sorrow. This is an excavation. The Well of Sorrow is a place of mystery, said to be laden with treasure beyond compare. It exists far below the earth in a difficult-to-reach cavern. While exploring, you may have found it. Place the Well of Sorrow location token on this hex. Heroes may choose to enter by succeeding on a mastery stat test of their choice. Those who arrive roll a 6-sided die. Alright, so the 6-sided die is draw a power-up card on a hex, remove 1 mutation or gain 1 mastery rank, lose all energy but heal all health, suffer 3 energy drain, or if Magnus Grimm is alive, he appears and confronts the group in the Well of Sorrow. So we might actually end up fighting a boss here. So let's take a look at what happens. First of all, let's grab that token. We're going to place the Well of Sorrow on the board right here. So we now have the Well of Sorrow and the Cave of Yajib discoveries on the board. We could even probably get to the cave if we wanted to. Alright, so we are going to roll a mastery stat test for the heroes who want to go in. So let's go ahead, let's do it. So I'm going to roll a stat test. Rolled it. I'm going to roll a nourish test here for the Templar. I need a 7 or lower. He's also entered. So we've both entered the Well of Sorrow. So we both, so those who arrive roll a 6-sided die. So we roll once for both heroes. We just roll once. We rolled a 3. We suffer 3 energy drain. Yikes. Okay, so I just realized that I advanced beyond the event phase. I forgot to give ourselves some Ravager crystals. So on that last game turn, before we moved on and went into the Well of Sorrow, we should have rolled a d4 for those extra Ravager crystals. So let's roll that. We have a 3 plus 2 because of the extraction kit. That's 5. We're now up to 15 Ravager crystals. Okay, now we pulled the Well of Sorrow, and we are moving into the event phase so that we can finish up that excavation for Phorora. And now the excavation says, the tale of the soaring city was a child's story since the gypsies arrived many centuries ago. The soaring city, right? Does that sound familiar? It is said that Kismet leads only the fortunate to steal a glance of this advanced civilization in the sky. It remained a story until 3 months ago, when news came that a traveler spotted it hidden among the clouds. If you have already found the soaring city, you may complete this mission immediately. So we can complete it immediately. We do have to roll those explore rolls. Oh, actually, we don't have to. We can complete it immediately. Okay, so that means we don't have to roll, and we just automatically get that plus 2 gold because of the reputation matching. And we get 2 power-up cards each, and our reputation increases, goes up by 1. We're still on the border there. Alright, so now we get some power-ups. Let's take a look. Okay, so we drew a 2nd mastery and survival for the gladiator. So that's going to be plus 1 there. Ooh, each of these are the orange rolls. So now we have 3 of those orange roll cards. We can actually roll 3 dice, and if any of these are a 4, a hex, we get to increase the value by 1. We do have a 4, so our plus 1 health becomes a plus 2 health. Awesome. The plus 1 to survival, which I already wrote down, that's going to be a plus 2 to survival. And then we have a plus 2 to our 2nd mastery. Excellent. that went very well. And then for the Templar, we have +3 to first mastery. Awesome. His Nourish is now up to 10. And we have a plus or minus food rating. So we could actually increase our food rating. His survival is 8, so I feel like we could increase his food rating. That would mean that he's taking 0 damage every time we go to a Remnant. Also, he would gain a couple extra health because of that, because his food rating would increase. So that would be size matters. For his monstrous size, current and maximum health ranks, he would gain 2 additional for that. So that's pretty cool. We're going to go up to food rating of 5. And he has 19 health now. Okay, awesome. So then we are going to have the villain phase. The Ravager is going to be removed from the board. We have completed that excavation card, so we can actually flip over the next card for Phorora. And that is another Highland. That could be a good card too. It's another Highland mission. We do have a Highland mission right here. Or we could head to the boss. Or we could camp here and go back into the Well of Sorrow. Let's not do the Well of Sorrow. Let's head over to the 4th boss. And we will be able to possibly meet them in battle. Templar only has 1 health, so I feel like we would use a poultice in this situation. So I'm going to increase his energy to 4. Okay, and then I am going to move. During the movement phase, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. That means we're going to be placing down. We're on the edge of the board again, so we're going to place down another hot tile. So let's see. We actually have boss number 5. Still no oasis to be found. So let's put that. We could put it right here. We could do boss 5 right after this one. If we wanted to, it could really give us some extra power before the end battle. That might be a good thing to do. Okay, so we've moved. We're going to roll some skills. 5 fails on navigate, fails on that, and crit fails on survival. Yikes. Alright, so we have failed everything. Gladiator is up to no good right now. He's distracted. And then the Templar. We do make the Templars navigate. We miss his survival, and we miss his explore. So his food rating is 5. He's going to be going down 5 units of food, and just like that, we're in danger of starving if we don't get some food soon. Thankfully, half the group did make the navigate check, so we stay where we are. That's a good thing. That means we are going to skip the circumstance phase. Oh, Genie's on the board. We're going to skip the circumstance phase. We're on a boss location, so we move right into the boss phase. So let's find the boss number 4, which is the Twins. Here they are. Okay, so we are facing the Twins. Let's see, how do I want to put that? I'll put that right there. The Twins. They are humanoid. We would be getting 2 power-ups. Ooh, we get 8 food for this, so we'll be able to refill our food. Okay, so we have 2 different opponents in this battle. The Twins are 2 separate opponents. We can choose who we're attacking, who we're, defending, not defending, but who we're actually targeting in this combat. So we're going to write down each of their vitals. We have 36 and 45, and we have 44 and 38. All right. So what we're going to do, put this here. Okay, what we're going to do first. Fanthier the Gladiator is going to use Perfected Technique. He's going to increase his target die rolls by 6 this round, and he's using his Legionnaire Shield. That's a defend ability. I think he's also going to use a King's Elixir. So that's an item. And King's Elixir heals 4 health and 2 energy each time you lose health. The effects of this elixir remain active for 3 rounds. So he will use that on one of the combatants, either the Gladiator or the Templar. The Templar, I believe we will do Sacred Protection for... Actually, we'll just do Nourish, and that's going to be a regen value. So we're going to drop his down to 3, drop his down to 4, and we will see what the twins do. Now the twins, we treat them as 2 separate opponents, and each one rolls an action. So we will go ahead and roll once for the first one, and that is a 5. And then we will roll again for the second one, and that is a Hex. Okay, so Wind Spear, single target health, energy, and survival. One target suffers 5 piercing health and energy. Those who fail survival suffer double damage from this attack and is energetic. The target gains a +1 penalty to their survival roll. Now, an energetic attack means if the boss's energy is high enough, then it doesn't... something else is added to it. One other thing, before we go into combat, I'm going to use the Lunar Blade's ability. I can activate the Power of the Moon. While our energy is 3 or higher, it's not currently, but while it is, then I am counterattacking whenever an opponent targets me. So, and that's for the rest of the game turn. Okay. So this round, the Gladiator has a higher target die. So I'm going to roll, roll him. And we get a Hex plus 6 is 7. So his target die is a 7. Templar rolled a 10. So the Templar is being affected by this attack. So the Templar is rolling survival. And we roll a 5. The survival test was at a +1 penalty, so that's a 6. Survival is 8, so we made that roll. So that is single target health, energy, and survival. So we take 5 piercing health and energy. So his energy is down to 0. He's at 14 health. Okay. And then we will go ahead and roll that second one. Was a Hex. Whirlwind Sandstorm. So this is a group health attack. Each target suffers 3 damage and rolls a stat test against the ability they are using this round. If the test fails, they lose their action this round. So we are going to roll against a 6 or lower here. We rolled an 8. So he does not get his defend this round. So the Gladiator's Perfected Technique is thwarted. And he suffers 3 damage. He goes down to 9. Oh, that would have set up for our next attack from him. So that's pretty bad. We could have been doing quite a bit of damage with the Gladiator this next round, but his attack failed. Because of the boss's Sandstorm ability. Okay, the Templar has to roll against Nourish, and the only way he'll fail this, his rank is 10. Only way he'll fail this is by rolling a 10 on the die. We rolled a 3, so his Nourish at least goes through. So let's go ahead and have his Nourish affect the Gladiator. He's going to be suffering 3 as well. So actually, yep, we're going to have the Templar's Nourish affect himself. So he's going to go back up to raise his Nourish rank. Oh, he's raising health. Okay, so that's good. He's going up to 24 health. 21 after he was damaged. Okay. And he is health regen. He has health regen equal to 5 for the next 3 rounds. So he's going to be regenerating 5 health at the beginning of every round for the next 3 rounds. The gladiator did use the King's Elixir on himself this round, which means that he actually is going to be healing because he was hit by the twins attack. So he was hit, that means for 1 attack, that's 4 health and 2 energy that he's healing. He goes back up to 13 and 3 energy. Okay, and while his energy is 3 or higher, he may counterattack whenever an opponent targets you. Because this is all happening in the same round, his counterattack may now go off, which means his Lunar Blade allows him to do an attack of 21 damage. That's 3 times his attack rank in energy. So he's doing 21 damage. Let's go with... we'll go with the first one. So 21 damage. Okay. Okay, next round. We're going to use Adrenaline. The Gladiator's going to use Adrenaline this round. That means he's going to be able to get his counterattacks going. So he's got rank 9 in Adrenaline, so that's really good. At rank 5, you may ignore the effects of one condition you suffer from while under Adrenaline's effect. And at rank 8, when Adrenaline begins, raise your health or energy by Adrenaline rank. Let's go ahead and raise his energy to give him quite a bit of extra energy. So he's going to go up to 12 energy. Reduce it by 1 because he's using Adrenaline this round. And now, Templar. Templar is going to use Judgment this round for 5 damage. He's out of energy, so that's all he is going to do. And next, let's see what they do. So the twins, first one is doing a 2. The twins give each other cover. They each defend 5 this round. If the other sibling isn't dealt damage this round, boost their damage by 2 next round. And energetic is a +4 to their defend value. So they're defending at a value of 9 this round. So the Templar's attack does not get through. We'll cross that off. And what does the other one do? The other one also does a 2. So that is that's not good for us. Well, I suppose it's just a round where the Gladiator's adrenaline has kicked in. Next round is going to be, let's go ahead and have the Templar defend and use an item. He's going to use a poultice to increase his energy. Okay, and then the Gladiator is going to attack. He's going to use Perfected Technique, I think, this round. So he'll do 10. And then the first twin is rolling a 3. Cyclone Burst. It's going to cost 4. So it's up to 25 energy damage. Single target health. The siblings send forth a ball of compressed elemental energy that bursts when it hits its mark. One target suffers 4 health damage, then each other target suffers energy damage equal to twice the damage the initial target suffered from this attack. So his target die roll is at a +6, and he's reducing the damage by 2. Alright, so he rolled a 7 for his target dice. Templar rolls a 3. So the Gladiator is the target. He reduces the damage. It would have been 4 damage. He reduces it to 2. So that he goes down to 11. And then the Templar suffers damage. He suffers 4 energy damage, taking out the effects of that poultice he just used. And then we have the second twin attacking us, and he rolls an attack. Oh, this is a tough one. Single target health. One target suffers 5 health damage if the target... Oh, actually, he was targeted. That means his perfected technique, his adrenaline would have gone off. You may counterattack when an opponent targets you. So he's counterattacking for 7, that first one. Okay. And the Lunar Blade is active. His energy is up. That means he's doing another 21. So he's just completely taken out the energy of the first bad guy. So completely sapped him of energy. So the first roll can't gain that energetic effect anymore. So the second one, single target health. One target suffers 5 health damage. If the target suffers this damage, they gain a +3 penalty to their target die against the other sibling next round. So Gladiator rolled a 11 with his bonus because of the perfected technique. And the Templar rolls a 2. So the Gladiator is attacked again. His counterattack goes off again against the other sibling, dealing 7 damage. And when that goes off, his Lunar Blade also attacks and does a counterattack back. So he's able to do another 21 damage to the other twin. Okay, so next round we are down to... he would have taken 5 damage. He defended by 2, so he should be down 3. So he's at 8 currently. His King's Elixir would have healed him, and that would have been 4 health. So he would have gone back up to 12. And this is the last round that his King's Elixir is active. Talen is just going to do a attack for 5, I think. So he's just going to do an attack for 5. Let me just do these values here. So we're at 29 from the one, and we're at 38 for the other, and they're almost completely out of energy. Okay, so Gladiator is going to use Gladius this round. It gains a boost, a damage boost, equal to Perfected Technique rank. Is going to be 6, equal to Gladius rank plus Perfected, so 13. So he's going to be doing 20 damage this round to the first twin. Okay, and the first twin is going to roll a 2. The Templar, we just did a 5 attack. Okay, so the first one is doing a 2. They give each other cover. They each defend 5 this round. If the other sibling isn't dealt damage this round, boost their damage by 2 next round. Energetic, they are not energetic, so it's a defend 5. The other one also rolls a 2 again. They must be scared of us. So that 5 damage goes away. They're just defending 5, so my 20 turns into a 15. So they are down to, this one is down to 14 health left. They didn't attack the Gladiator this round, so he didn't get any additional counterattacks in. So this next round, the Gladiator is going to be doing Gladius for 7 damage. The Templar is going to do a... yeah, he has no energy. So he's just going to do a attack for 5. Actually, we'll have him attack the second one here. Okay, so first twin, what are we doing? We're rolling a 1. Single target health. One target suffers 5 health damage. If the target suffers this damage, they gain a +3 penalty to their target die against the other sibling next round. So the first sibling rolls a 1. Second sibling rolls a 3. And the second sibling still has energy left, so that can happen. They get their attack off. The first, let's resolve the first one. Single target health. One target suffers 5 health damage. Gladiator rolls a 2. Templar rolls a 4. So we've got 5 damage incoming to the Templar. He's at 16. He's just now getting underneath his max health here. He has 16 out of 19 health. Okay, the next twin does Stone Shatter, single target health. The siblings send forth a ball of compressed elemental energy. One target suffers 4 health damage, then each other target suffers energy damage equal to twice the damage. Alright, so one target, we rolled a Hex for the Gladiator, and we rolled a 9 for the Templar. So the 9 for the Templar, that means he's going to be suffering damage. He takes 4 health damage. And so he goes down to 12 health. The Gladiator is going to be suffering twice the amount of energy damage. Because he was targeted, he gets a counterattack. So he will do another 7 damage. And he also gets the Lunar Blades effect. So that is going to take out the other amount of energy that the second sibling has. Okay, so we resolved the round. The first sibling is dead. That means that his perfected technique is going to be strengthened. The boost is strengthened by 3. All right, so now that 5 damage went through on the first one, so he's at 33 health and 0 energy. Gladiator is going to attack for 7. Templar is going to attack for 5. I didn't reduce the Gladiator's energy here. His energy should be down to 2 because he suffered 8 energy damage. And then let's see what the other twin does, and we roll a 2. So that is simply another defend of 5. We just do 2 health damage this round. Next round we're going to do the same thing, 7, 5, and see what he does. 4 this time. Well, now 4 he actually can't use because he's out of energy. That means we default to his defendability at half power. He's only defending for 2 this round. So 5 and 3 get through. That's 8 damage. He's at 25, 5, 6, 23 health left. Okay. Next round, we are going to do the same thing. Yeah, there was a defense, so he doesn't do any damage to us. Next round, we're going to do the same thing, a 7 and a 5 damage incoming. And we do a 3. Obviously, he has no energy left. He can't use Cyclone Burst, so we're using Aerial Kick. Single target health, one target suffers 5 health damage. Gladiator rolls an 8 for his target die. Templar rolls a 3. Gladiator is attacked, which means his counterattack goes through for another 7 damage. Okay, so that's 14 and 5 is 19, so he's got 4 health left. And the Gladiator has been reduced by 5. So he is going to take 5 damage. He's at 7 health left. We're just going to do Gladius again. 7 and 5 damage. And let's see what he does. 3. It's a default to an attack again. And it's at half the potency. Oh, last one was also defaulted. So he should actually be at 9 health. Okay, so that's going to kill him this round. Let's see who takes the damage. 2... and 3. So the Templar is going to take the 3 to the 2 damage. So Templar is down to 10 health, 0 energy. Gladiator is down to 9 health, 2 energy. Both twins are defeated. The Gladiator has gotten, because he's defeated 2 opponents, he's gotten 2 strengthens. His perfected technique was strengthened twice. And let's check out what we get. So first thing, we get a group reward of 5 gold, 8 food, and 3 platinum. So 3 platinum. Oh, and we didn't do our plus 5 energy damage. We could have done that as well. Would have maybe not made a difference because we were fighting both 2 opponents there. Okay, so 5 gold. And 8 food, so that's going to go up to 12 and 10. And then one of us is going to get a +3 to attack, and the other is going to get weighted dice. So 9, that the Gladiator rolled a 9, Templar rolled a 6. So that +3 attack is falling on the Gladiator. Very good. So he goes up to 10, and then the Templar gets weighted dice. Okay. And that is it. We've defeated the twins. Okay. The end of this turn, let's put a hex marker on that location so we know we've defeated them. At the end of that game turn, we are going to have the Ravager appear. So let's see. He's rolling a 6, so that's northward. So he's actually going to be falling on that tile there. Let's roll to see where. On node 1, which is right here. And there we have it. How many do we have on the board? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're very close to getting into the next phase of the game, Act 3. And when that happens, we are in trouble. So I feel like we need to get to the next. We need to get to the next city and recover some of our Ravager crystals. What we do is we are going to move 1 cautiously. We are going to each heal a little bit because of our. Oh, and we would have had a bunch more energy in that last fight. We have regen of 1. So every round at the beginning of the round, we would have been regenning 1 energy. So our Templar probably would have been a lot more beneficial in that last battle. So Templar is going to use his Nourish to heal himself. He goes up to full. Okay, and then we are going to skip, and we're going to do our skill phase. We make it on the hex, so that means we could actually move 1 more if we wanted to on navigate. We make the survival roll, so we only consume 1 food. Let's roll for the Templar. We make the survival roll here, so he only eats 1. And the 4 goes up by 1 here, or 2. Okay. So why don't we got to the edge of the board, so we get to put down another hex tile here. Oh, alright, so we found an oasis and a Caravansary. We could actually move this so that the Caravansary is right next to where we're going. Do we want to go there and then head back to Phorora? We could. We definitely could do that. We've fought 1 boss. Do we want some more crystals? Let's take a look at. If we do the crystals, we have a good chance of getting another 3 cleanse crystals instead of 2. So maybe what we want to do is stay here in the crystal deposit. Let's do that this round. And then we'll see what happens next round. We could go to the Oasis and then fight the 5th boss and get even more power-up cards. That might be a good thing to do. I don't think I did the power-up cards, did I? I didn't give us power-up cards for the battle. So I think I need to do that yet. Shame on me. We need power-ups. Oh, man. Evolve, evolve, evolve. Defend, first mastery. Okay, so our first mastery goes up by 2. That was a 6, so it's now an 8. Nice. Defend. Oh, and that is... No, that's not... Defend goes up by 3. That will be helpful. 5. Very nice. Now we have 2 evolves here. Your mutations are growing stronger. This power-up becomes a copy of one mutation you have. If you do not have a mutation, gain the bonus below instead. So we get 2 evolves. Do we want monstrous size? His size rating is going to continue to increase. It's going to give him a bunch more health. Or do we want to have Frost Touch? Maybe we have Frost Touch get slightly better. You channel Intense Cold. Each Frost Touch mutation you possess increases the energy damage dealt by 8. Yeah, let's do that. So he is... so the Templar is a monstrous size. He's got 2 evolve... he's got 1 evolve card on his monstrous size. He's got 2 evolve cards on his Frost Touch mutation. So now he can do 24 energy damage with each attack that he dishes out. Awesome. Okay, now that we've got that figured out, I think what we're going to do is let's just go to the Caravan location, and we are going to end our movement there. We've already increased our attributes because of our vitals, because of our survival kit. So now we move into the event phase. Let's flip over the Caravan Master that is in this location. Okay, that's Melhin the Hunter. Okay, let's see where he's taking us. Where is he going? 4. He is going to... he's going to Nemsynet. We actually have a bounty that we can turn in there. That seems handy. Okay, let's do that. We're gonna go to Nemsynet, and we're gonna play through that Caravan event. So before we do, what I think I'm gonna do is use a poultice to get the gladiator up close to full. He'll have full energy. The Templar, I think, will use another poultice from his pack, so the Templar has 3 energy as well. Okay, so next up we have the first... Oh my gosh! Kismet. This journey has been surprisingly fruitful. You've worked together to ensure the trip was quick and uneventful. You've impressed the Caravan Master, moved your reputation in any direction by up to 3, and gained 10 gold per hero. Awesome. So we just get to finish the journey. It was rather quick, painless. We get him to where he's going. He's alive. He's at full health and full vitals. That means we get all of the stuff. So we get +2 to our survival. We're both up to 10 survival now. Then we get 2 extra energy. What's his special? If you draw an encounter Caravan event, the group will earn double. The encounter rewards. His caravan suffers no damage if you decide to skip an encounter event. Okay, so that's that. Kismet. Melhin is distributed to Nemsynet, and we go over there. We can barely see our character on the map here. Okay, so we get to move our reputation by up to 3, and I think we're going to move it 2 over. So we are now left rebellious, and let's go 1 up. Okay. I think what we'll do is we'll pause the video here and we will pick it up in a minute.